access to names. So the chicken list PC is showing them that they have plenty of people to call, and it's giving them the action steps and holding their hand through that process. Also, a lot of reps are nervous. Would you agree that most reps are nervous about calling people, especially if they haven't talked to them in a long time? Okay, so let's talk about this, the chicken list. By the way, this is also when a rep is in their fast start or right after their fast start, they get excited about calling recommendations right away. It is my firm belief that we should never call a referral until $10,000 in sales. Until $10,000 in sales. We push that really hard in our office. Do not call referrals until you're at $10,000 in sales, because $10,000 in sales is 40 demos. We know that, right? 40 demos equals 10K. We learned that from Mike Muriel. So 40 demos equals 10K. That's just standard. So if somebody does 40 presentations, whether it's a push week or an overextended period of time, that is usually $10,000 in sales. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but that's the golden ticket. So if somebody doesn't have 40 contacts, if somebody doesn't have 40 family members, friends, parents, people that they can show that they know, they're lying to you. Okay, that's just a fact. They're lying to you. It's impossible that somebody doesn't have 40 people they can do a presentation for. So I try to make sure that reps don't call referrals until they're at $10,000 in sales. The way that I have that what's in it for them conversation, the want to versus need to. Because if I say to Mike, hey Mike, you can't call referrals. You're not allowed to until you're at $10,000 in sales because I said so and I've got a name tag. Right? I can't do that because Mike will say, well, screw you. I'm at 1099. You can't tell me what to do. Right? But if I put it in terms of what's in it for him, so I say, hey, Mike, if you were going swimming and you dive into a pool that has 6 inches of water in it, if you dive in head first off the high dive, a pool of 6 inches of water, what happens? You die. You die. You're dead. What if you dive in a pool of 6 feet of water? You live, and you have a great day at the pool. So in our business, calling referrals too soon, calling referrals before you have 100 contacts on your list, before you have 100 people from your original list to call and set demos with, that's like diving into 6 inches of water. If you have 100 plus on your list, that's like having 6 feet of water. Because what will happen is right now you only have 20 or 30 referrals. If you only have 20 or 30 referrals, you're going to burn through all of them. And by the time you figure out how to make phone calls, because it's a process, there's a learning curve, by the time you figure out how to make phone calls, you're going to have burned through every one of those. And by the time you get good, you have nobody to call. But if you build up your list and you have over 100 on your list, you're still going to burn through the same 20 or 30 because you're going to suck at first because, phone calls, there's a learning curve and it's hysterical to watch you guys phone for the first time. But there's a learning curve. You're going to burn through those 20 or 30, but when you burn through those 20 or 30, you still have 70 or 80 people to call, and you have plenty on your list. So it's so important to make sure that we have over 100 on your list, so let's work on that. So you're putting it in terms of what's in it for them. You're not saying you have to do something. You're saying here's why you want to do something. So it's always what's in it for them. It's inspiring, it's motivating, and you're putting it in terms of want to instead of need to